Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Madejski Stadium. You can call it the Mad Stad if you like. Just let me show you this. I'll scroll my way up. A lone drum left here waiting for a fan to drum it. None of that tonight. The only drum beating was the sound of Norwich's promotion charge. There you go. I do just make this up on the hoof. Norwich City have won 2-1 again. I've lost track of exactly how many times they've done that, but they've done it again here against Reading. They are now on 40 points from 19 games. They are a clutch of teams in 7th, 8th and 9th, I think, in the Championship table on 30. That's 10 points difference. I think people have been saying there's a 6-point gap to third now, which is where Watford are. I'm not so fussed about that, although clearly Watford and Bournemouth are, I think you have to look at it, the biggest challenges to what Norwich are doing at the moment. But I have to say, what Norwich are doing is superb for all manner of reasons. Check out The Athletic Thursday morning and beyond for a piece on that. But just to run it through, Norwich took the lead in the first half by basically Reading mucking up, playing at the back. Buendia, straightforward interception and finish, call as you like. He is a man who is adding goals to his supreme quality and work rate. As I said against Blackburn, same again tonight, just busted a gut so often to cover the runs. And actually it was a delight to speak to him after the game. It's the first time I've had a proper conversation with Buendia since he arrived. That was a joy. In fact, I think I might well put that audio up at some point on my Twitter feed, so have a look for it on there. Norwich took an early lead, but they did actually concede almost immediately afterwards. It wasn't a great goal from Norwich's point of view. They didn't cut out Sonny Aluko's cross, which caught a deflection. Nigeria's shot also took a deflection off Elise, who managed to wrong foot Michael McGovern. Some people have suggested that it was handball. I haven't seen a replay of it, so I don't know. It was fortuitous, but it was kind of well worked to a degree from Reading. And at that point, and in the first half, they did cause Norwich troubles. They're a curious side. I think they're a good side. They move the ball really well and confidently. You can see they're well coached in what they're trying to do. Sometimes I felt they were trying to do things that they certainly at the back, that they were still trying to feel their way into it. And making needless mistakes, obviously taking risks, but that's part of what they're trying to do. But it was curious. They'd sort of spend the time and the risk at the back moving it around, but then they would also get the ball forward very quickly. And so it was a bit like, well, you do one or the other maybe, because either you're going to go try and turn the ball around nice and quickly, and it was very direct. And then you've also got the risk of playing at the back. So I feel like they're still maybe trying to figure it out. And bear in mind that they did have some big players out tonight. Zhao was out, Mete, who's a very good player, was out. Richards got an injury at the weekend, so 3 kind of big players for them. And you could sense from the Reading fans are like, oh, we've got no chance here because we've got no striker and we're struggling for players. But Norwich still had 9 first-team players who could have started tonight out. They are still in the midst of an injury crisis. They're still playing with their second-choice goalkeeper. I think you could tell a bit tonight against someone of Aluko's experience that Jakob Sorensen isn't a left back. He's doing admirably well, and I thought he grew into the game, which again just says so much about his football intelligence that he could learn to kind of get on top of things. But that first half was tough for him, and it was also tough for Josh Martin, who struggled in the first half. I think you have to remember how young he is, how much he's still got to learn, which he knows about. We've all seen what he's capable of, and at that young age, there will be games like this. It's absolutely fine, and I would trust implicitly how Daniel Farke manages him, because he's proven that he's very good at doing it and making sure that players sustain their confidence. I think if it was any other manager, you'd worry if they were being overused and it might hamper their belief almost, but you don't really see that. And the case in point for seeing that is someone like Max Aarons, who of course is just such a consistent performer. It was interesting seeing the Norwich City fans social club forum with him and Kenny McLean, and Kenny McLean saying, "Oh, Max, will you just get out a second gear?" That was one of the things he was apparently been saying to Max, because you're just cruising, the division's too easy for you. And I have to say tonight he was superb in terms of the real effect of the game. Really got forward, some wonderful touches, and he made the goal. It was a penalty that he won, a beautiful first touch that took him into space from a really flowing move. Norwich put a lot of these moves together. He was brought down by Liam Moore, I think it was, and Teemu Pukki rolled the ball home for his 51st goal for Norwich City. The countdown to 100 starts here. Read my piece from Post Blackburn, by the way, if you want to immerse yourself in 50 goals of Teemu and Pukki, which of course is slightly out of date now, but that was the benchmark then, so it's fine. So yes, Martin and Marcus Stiepermann, who again didn't do too badly, but had probably too many poor moments in the first half. So they made way for Todd Cantwell, who was very good, and Kieran Dowell. The first time we've seen him since September the 19th. He did get withdrawn in the last few minutes, I think tactical reasons, to give Norwich a bit more height, a bit more steel. Likewise to protect him as well. This was his first game in 4 months, so you can kind of understand that. No one was really having an issue with it. And I have to say, I thought Norwich were absolutely magnificent in the second half. The way they controlled the game, they just took Reading out of it. Now, I know that the goal came for a penalty, but it came with a lot of pressure. Norwich were kind of playing controlled football, so they didn't create a lot, but they also, as I said, just took Reading out of the game. And I think it said it all that the full-time whistle went. The Reading fans, who'd been kind of moaning at the referee a lot, and Jeff Elchingham just had one of his normal games, to be honest, but they all stood up and applauded. They saw their side play pretty well, work supremely hard, and lose to a better team. And I think ultimately Norwich are in a supreme position given reactions like that. They look every inch the part. They have so many players to come back. You just couldn't really be in a better position. And I would say at this point, the only team that's going to beat them to promotion, you wonder, will be themselves. Probably the only issue with that is that Watford and Bournemouth are both very good sides, and they will run Norwich as close as possible. Therefore, Norwich can't let up, and that's up to them now and their responsibility. But this was just a fantastic second half on top of a very good performance at the approaching end of an incredibly tough run. They have Cardiff at home on Saturday, one of the few teams who's still receiving parachute payments. I think they've lost Kiefer Moore to injury. I don't know if Harry Wilson will be back, but he's obviously a hugely valuable player at this level, and by all accounts someone Norwich would have quite liked to have signed in the summer on loan. So we'll see if he's fit too. It'll be another big test, but what Norwich are doing at the moment is remarkable. It's a joy to watch, and it's a joy to see how they're playing football. They've lost none of what they were doing 2 years ago at this level. They have wonderful players, and it's just hard after a game like this just not to think. And in the midst of all that, you've got someone like Ollie Skipp, who is just what he does at his age in his first few weeks of regular first-team football is something else. And if this does all end up with Norwich being promoted, I don't know, I'm getting well ahead of myself here. I think Norwich could do a lot worse than getting another loan out of Ollie Skipp if he's not going to play at Spurs. There we go. I'm going to head off, finish my job for the night. I hope you're all really well. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Enjoy it, because it's going very well. It won't always go this well, but it is in Norwich's gift, I think, to keep doing this and get the rewards at the end of it. Have a lovely evening. Leave your comments and your thoughts and your questions. I always read them all wherever you are. Wherever you're reading this, stick in your I've lost my trail of thought. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff as well. Thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate it. And I think I should finish on a note that it was a bit of late pressure. Michael McGovern tipped over a free kick late on, claimed a really tricky high cross, just did the bits that he needed to do. And even as someone who, when he came in, thought this is going to be tough, I don't think he could have done much more, really. I think he's been excellent for the situation he's been thrown into him. So fair play, Michael. Fair play, the lot of them. On to Carrow Road on Saturday. See you there. In the meantime, enjoy the picture of the league table. Good night.